We all love a good budget guitar, right? When you get a deal, you're like, oh man, that's great. Now, if you've ever looked at the price of the Fender Acoustasonic guitars and thought, I just don't have the budget for $500 to $2,500, maybe I'll look and see if I can find something that's a little bit more in my budget. Well, I found something pretty interesting coming from IYV out of Vietnam. This one comes in at $160. Let's see if it's any good. Welcome back. I'm Tony, and yeah, that's what we're looking at today. Let me just show you the listing on Amazon because I think the model number is IJGAP-300. It is an IYV 6-string hollow body electric guitar, right-handed and satin brown. The top material is mahogany. The body material is basswood and the back material is rosewood. I don't know about that. I think this is the same as the top. I'm not really sure. Fretboard material, Jatoba wood, and the pickup configuration, it says HSH. Humbucker, single humbucker? I don't think so. You know, sometimes the listings aren't exactly correct, but this is supposed to have a piezo here, and then that is an active pickup right there. I don't know, even further down in the listings, it does list the back material as rosewood. I hardly think so for $159, but yeah, I think they need to look at their listings because it also says here guitar bridge system is tremolo. So I actually do own a Fender Acoustasonic Telly, so I thought, well, let me see how this compares to it. I bought that in the first batch. It was like $2,300, I think. Now on social media, I belong to a lot of different budget guitar groups and stuff like that, and I'm always looking for good deals because you know what, nowadays you can get a really good guitar for under 200 bucks. I'm all about that. I'm also a fan of Richard the Bald Shredder's channel, and he reviews a lot of these types of guitars. IYV, he's reviewed a few of those. They always looked really good. And the custom shop. Now, I think the custom shop might be the way for me to really redeem them because this guitar is good, it's just not great. But for 160 bucks, it's really hard to beat. Anyways, shout out to the Bald Shredder, and that's one of the reasons why I discovered IYV. Now, they're out of Vietnam. That's where they manufacture all their guitars. And this one here, like I said, $160. And you know what? It's mostly very good. There are just a couple of little things here. It does have an active pickup here. So as you'll see here, we do have a battery door in the back for that. And when I first got it, I was like, well, I guess that pickup doesn't work because it has a 5-way selector. And I was going through that and I was like, it's not turning on. And I went, oh, active pickup. Gonna have to put a battery in there. So it takes a 9-volt. So you've got that pickup and then there's a pickup inside the bridge. Overall, it looks really good and it's pretty darn accurate to like the Fender Jaguar Acoustasonic. Got metal knobs on here. There's again the 5-way switch, your plug right down there. It's got that offset Jaguar design. One of the things that I noticed on here is that the sound hole is very accurate to the Fender one, except for the fact that, let me just get a close-up of this here. So the finish around the inside of the sound hole, it's just not finished all that well. It's pretty rough in there. And it just seems like they didn't finish it, you know what I mean? Another thing for me is fret ends. And you know, I can be a little bit forgiving when it comes to fret ends, but on the top, they're not so bad. On the bottom, they're pretty sharp. So a lot of playing on this thing, you might get a little bit of cuts on your fingers. You know, when you hear about learning to play guitar and stuff, it's like your fingers bled because you were playing so hard there. You didn't think about the sides of them. Yeah. If I'm going to use this guitar a lot, I would definitely take a fret file to that and just go down and redress the ends of those frets. Just something, those are details that are very important, especially if you're selling a guitar that's in the budget range, because people that might be learning to play guitar might want to pick one of them up, you know? It appears to have a polycarbonate nut on here. The tuners, they're okay. They're not super great. They do the trick and they tune up nicely. The thing is, the E string on here, intonation is off on that, and no matter what I do, I can't get it just exactly right. I'm not super versed when it comes to dealing with these types of bridges. This does have, we'll look at a close-up here, where it looks like it's supposed to be set that way, so might be able to go up here to the nut. Now, speaking of the nut, and this is one of the reasons why I think it's a plastic nut, is they didn't file these nut slots very good. So, especially the E string, which might be part of the problem here, it might be binding. It looks pretty tight, as you can see there. And if you look real closely, you can see there's a little bit of dust right in front of the nut on the fretboard. So yeah, maybe if I clean those slots up and put a little bit of Big Ben's nut sauce in there, it might be a little bit better. I'm not trying to be rough on them. This is just stuff that I found, and I did purchase this guitar. Now let me see if I can show you. There's a spot that's right here. Let me see if I get the light just right. Yeah, I'm looking down at my monitor here. Maybe you can see it right there. There's a spot right there where it looks like they hit a little bit too much with the sander or something like that. It's got a little bit of a dip there. Let's see, let me take this off here. The neck itself is actually quite nice. It's got a good shape to it. It's pretty thin, and it's got that satin finish on the back of that, which I really, really like. It is a bolt-on neck. You do have a compartment back here for your battery, for your electronics, and then this one, I'm assuming, is for your, well, for the pickups, your piezo, and for that active pickup. Thought it was an interesting choice to put an active pickup on here. It does sound good, though. And while the fret ends are kind of sharp, that can easily happen from transport. If it's coming from Vietnam and it's in one of those container ships and there's moisture and all that stuff, or even humidity, that can cause the fretboard to shrink just a little bit, and that could be just enough to make those sharp. The only other way that I can see to solve that would be to put the ball end frets on here, but I will say that they seem to be polished quite nicely. They're nice shiny frets, they're not scratchy. By the way, at NAMM, I picked these up from Cleartone. These are star picks, and these are fantastic because they got this little star hole in there, and your finger just stays right in there. It's really easy to grip them, and I've had a problem in the past with gripping my picks too tightly. With that in there, I don't have to anymore, so. Now, as far as an acoustic guitar goes, let's do this. I am going to... All right, I figured this microphone will pick it up just fine to get some room sound acoustically. So yeah, if you're looking for something to play acoustically, but you don't want it to be super, super loud, this actually does a really good job of that. Much like the Acoustasonic, it doesn't have the different settings like the Acoustasonic I have. I can change it to sound like a dreadnought and, you know, all those different styles of guitars. This one doesn't have all that, but it also doesn't cost $2,000. Well, let's plug it in and see what it sounds like. All right, as usual, I've got this plugged into the Engel Fireball 25 Marshall 412 cab. That is a JCM 800 lead 1960. And we're gonna start off with just some clean stuff, okay? So. All right, so that's on that position right there. The next position, it's a 3-position switch. Now see, I did tune this right before I started to play on this thing plugged in. You can hear that top string, the low E, just it's off on the intonation, but you know, put it up in this position now at the top. See that top string there? Intonation, and you know, it might be that nut though. We'll work on that. Now, in order for me to really be able to tell how the pickup configuration is here, I'm going to take the battery out. On standby. Okay, battery out. See, we're all the way back on that position right now on the switch. We got nothing coming out. We take it up here. So yeah, I'm assuming that all the way down is that pickup right there, the active pickup. And then... So yeah, put this thing back in here. So I don't know if it's actually combining the pickups when we move it between the things. I think it must be. So maybe when it's all the way up, you're only getting this one. When it's in the middle, you're getting this one and that one. And when it's back, you're just getting that one right there. A little bit awkward. Let me go ahead and get this battery back in here. Okay, so I've got the battery back in here, and this is set all the way to that. So it's just that pickup. And yeah, you can tell it's an active pickup. It's got a little bit of gain to it. Well, let's go ahead and give it some gain. We'll go ahead and put the lead channel on. So yeah, you can heavy it up a little bit if that's what you want to do. Like I say, it's pretty versatile for 160 bucks. So there we go, a budget alternative to the Fender Acoustasonic series. Yeah, it's not an Acoustasonic, but it does have a lot of the same qualities. It plays pretty nicely. In my case, I'm gonna have to, you know, file down these fret ends a little bit. You might not have that happen to you, so it's hard to say. Overall, the fit and finish for $160 is good, but you know, you got that little dip that's in there and that E-string thing, which might solve itself after I clean up that nut just a little bit. But overall, man, look, 160 bucks, well spent. That's what I say. As far as IYV goes, I have another guitar that I reviewed from them that I got for under 100 bucks that was actually pretty sweet. So you can check that out, popping up on that link right there. I'll put a link down in the description to this on Amazon. It is currently sold out, but you can purchase one, and when they come back in stock, they will automatically ship it out to you. And if you're really good at doing guitar setups and stuff like that, well, you never know. You might just get this thing dialed in and it might be your favorite guitar. To me, it's definitely worth that $160 gamble. You know what I mean? When you buy something on Amazon, you're like, oh, we'll see. Luckily on Amazon though, if it sucks, you can send it back. All right, I had plans to do more videos this week, but I had a death in the family, and sadly, it sucks. I'm going to be flying out to Arkansas for a funeral tomorrow. All I can say about that is love your family all you can, because you never know when that will not be there. I just want to thank you so much for your support here on the channel. Likes, comments, shares, subscriptions. It really does mean the world to me that you give me the ability to do this, and it's just amazing. If you like what you see, hit that thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, there is a red subscribe button down there and a notification bell. Hit both of those. You'll get notifications when I upload new videos. It's not inexpensive to run these channels, so if you're so inclined and you want to toss a couple bucks my way, there is a thank you button that's down below this video. Click that and do what you do. All right, well, that's going to do it for this episode. We'll catch you next time on the Vapor Trail channel.